Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the streets of Hollywood, California. I just actually visited the L. Ron Hubbard exhibition here in the Scientology building. Unfortunately, they would not let me film, which is not a huge surprise to me from what I've heard, but I still wanted to go through the experience because it's something I've not experienced before. And you know, I've been in a lot of religious attractions, religious museums. I've been in the Holy Land, USA, and different other, you know, Christian museums. But so I figured I would give the religion of Hollywood, Scientology, just, you know, give their museum a look. I am, you know, I don't talk about my own personal religious views on this channel, but you know, I do show religious things and religious experiences. So, you know, it is about the life of L. Ron Hubbard, and you go in the museum. There's a personal guide. I didn't have anyone in my group, so it was just me and a lady, and she was super nice and super sweet. And yeah, they start out, they show you different things that L. Ron Hubbard has done in his life. You know, that he's the best-selling author of all time, that he's the youngest airline pilot, I think, the youngest Eagle Scout, that he went all over the world, and kind of painting him, you know, like the most interesting man in the world type deal. Which I don't know, maybe every bit of it's true. I don't know.
Live stream on Twitch?
No, just recording myself. Sorry about that. He was asking me if I was live streaming on Twitch, which I'm not. I'm recording on YouTube. But anyways, L. Ron Hubbard. So yeah, a lot to talk about his books. They started out writing comic books. I think comic books. Well, anyway, yeah, comic books. And talked about you know, becoming an author, writing fictional books. There's some cool, I wish I could have filmed in there. There were some cool displays on some of his books. There was a wax scene of Battlefield Earth with like a giant alien with a guy with a chain around a guy's neck, dragging him around, and then like some other interesting science fiction scenes. And they did have L. Ron Hubbard's pith helmet, which is pretty cool. I'm a connoisseur of famous pith helmets, and so yeah. So one thing though is that, you know, I've been to a lot of museums. I've never had a museum guide ask me so many personal questions. So yeah, they're instantly, you know, they're trying to bring you into the religion, trying to get you to become interested in the religion. Ask me, you know, what I did for a living, how many kids I had. It was really, it's just almost every like thing that she showed, she asked something about me in relation, like, oh, do you do this? Talk about doctors. Have you ever worked in the medical field? So definitely trying to, makes me uncomfortable. Makes me a little, honestly, it makes me uncomfortable when people like pry and try to get to me and try to figure me out, because that's what she was kind of doing, trying to figure me out, see if I was interested, seeing if I wasn't. So yeah, make no mistake, it doesn't have the museum name in the title. It's the exhibition, but it really kind of spends more time talking about Dianetics and their beliefs more than L. Ron Hubbard himself. It's not really historical. It's a religious recruitment tool, obviously. She showed me like 3 movies, I think, that I watched. Let me see if I remember things. They're talking about a lot about like dark memories. Kind of what we would call in the social work profession as post-traumatic stress disorder. They had another name for it, about bad thoughts hiding in your brain and trying to get rid of the irrational bad thoughts. Honestly, a lot of the belief seems very much like motivational speaker, self-help type things. Of course, you know, yeah, I'll be honest, everything that the media has ever told me about Scientology has been bad. So I don't want to judge. I'm not here to take sides. I'm just reporting the facts on. A lot of they did talk to me a lot about is communication triangle, the ARC, but I don't remember what ARC stands for, and I'm not good, I guess, at being converted because I have such a short attention span. But yeah, so oh yeah, I got to do an e-reader, the e-meter that reads your brain. She gets a machine, you hold metal things in your hand, and then she tells you to have a stressful thought, and the needle goes up. Didn't go too deep into it, but I got to try an e-reader. That's a new experience. And then there was like vintage e-readers all through the years. So yeah, then you just drive. Then they drive through the hard sell, trying to get you to buy books and stuff. And of course, I didn't buy anything. But she did give me another ticket to another museum. Told me to go down this way to the what do they call it? Oh yeah, the Psychiatry Museum of Death, I think. Let me see, I got the ticket right here. Let me dig this out. Psychiatry and Industry of Death Museum. I know that they are, they did not believe in psychiatric medicine. So, it's the Los Angeles LGBT Center. Interesting. So I'm headed down to the Psychiatry and Industry of Death Museum. My guess is they're not going to allow me to film in there. Scientologists seem very protective of their religion. They're notoriously involved in the legal system if they don't like things. But yeah, so I will go in to the Psychiatry, the museum. That's kind of an awkward name. Psychiatry, the Industry of Death Museum. I'm gonna go in there, and if by some miracle they let me film, I will. If they don't let me film, I'll let you know what it was like. Alright, so the Psychiatric Death Museum did not allow filming or photography. You're allowed to take one selfie of yourself in front of the gateway. And they said that you have to be in the picture. You can't just take a picture of it for legal reasons. And so first off the bat, this is, they don't use the word Scientology anywhere in here. They call themselves the Citizens Commission for Human Rights. So they say that they're a watchdog group to monitor the psychiatric industry. So they actually take your camera. I had to leave my camera and tripod, my little mini tripod up at the front, which is okay, I guess. I took my SD card out just because I don't know. I didn't want them looking through my videos. I guess, you know. Anyways, this museum is not subtle. This is not subtlety is not their strong point. They immediately, the first room they bring you in to show you the opening video is literally a padded room. They want to show you that, like a big scary padded room with flickering lights and ominous music, and they show you a video kind of laying out how bad psychiatry is. And so then you first go into a room with a lot of like old medical quackery devices, you know, which there legitimately is a history of ancient, very bad medical practices, misdiagnoses and stuff like that. So it's like horrible things like hanging treatment where they hang you by your arms, or things like that. Things, isolation chairs, things that they used, meant long time ago to inflict on mental patients. And then you kind of go into a section where it kind of equates psychiatry with racism, talking about people using psychiatry to separate people of races, different races, take people of different races and reclassify them in bad ways, which that may have happened at some point. I don't feel Okay, let me just, I worked in Child Protective Services, so I have some familiarity with psychiatry. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, but I worked with them. And yeah, I don't feel that there is racism currently in any form in the psychiatric medicine. I'll try to avoid putting my opinion too much here. Just, you know, more want to talk about just the experience of the museum, which was incredibly well done. The lighting, the theming, the sound effects is just pretty much on point with any, you know, major museum you'd ever see. A lot of money behind this museum, clearly. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so they blame, like, they talk about eugenics, kind of tie that into psychiatry, which I guess is sort of related. That's kind of, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying not to give my opinion. So they talk about, yeah, they talk about ties to racism, ties to eugenics, Nazism, and then they kind of transition into modern times. They talk about a lot about electroshock therapy, and there's an exhibit where you actually, there's an electroshock machine and a big glass head, and you put your age in, and that supposedly gives the right dosage or electricity, and you hit the button and it zaps, that whole head fills with electricity. It's like, so then like they have different medical restraints used, kind of showing, you know, cruel straitjackets, things like that. What else? Oh yeah, then there's a wall of victims, celebrities that are victims of psychiatry. Pretty much anyone famous that had psychiatric problems. Heath Ledger, Marilyn Monroe, Robin Williams, they all say it was caused from mental health treatment. And just remember, correlation does not equal causation. So from there you go in, then you go into like a classroom, and they talk about school shooters and blame school shooters on psychiatric medicine that the kids were taking, saying that that's what caused them to shoot the schools. There's like a little classroom, like set up like a little classroom that you sit in a desk and watch a movie. Oh, I think I forgot, they did like a thing on like MK Ultra and mind control, exhibit on that, and they said that they blame 9/11 on psychiatrists, saying that psychiatric drugs were used on terrorists to make them do suicide bombings. So yeah, the kind of the message is that psychiatry is all made up to get money from people. It's pretty much saying that mental illness was not real in any form. I'll say that I know people affected by mental illness. That's definitely not fake. And they didn't really offer up any solutions in here, or say give alternatives what you should do instead of psychiatry. I think I know what they would say if you asked them. But they didn't mention Scientology in there at all. So yeah, that is the Psychiatric Museum. I guess their mental illness doesn't exist. Psychiatry is bad. Is pretty much the driving focus here. So this has been an interesting experience. I just wanted to I like to see other people's beliefs, even if they may not match up with my own. You know, I think everyone should give everyone a chance to hear what they have to say, and I just wanted to hear what they had to say. So appreciate you guys watching. I do apologize I wasn't able to film in either one of these museums, but that's the rules and I have to follow the rules. So thank you for joining me. If you'd like to see other museums I've been to, check down in the description. There is an interactive map. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, consider buying a t-shirt, consider donating to Patreon. All that information is in the description. But for now, this one's in the bag.